Okay, really quick, before I go to bed, I had to make a video. I had to make a video because I just couldn't sleep. I don't know. It's literally 4 a.m. on this like really dark rabbit hole, I will say, because I'm working on a pseudo story. Look at me sound like a journalist. But no, I am working on a story that has had me up late as of recently. So just looking at the state of the world again currently, like it's just so crazy. Be wary of the opportunists and wolves in sheep clothing. Like I just have seen a lot of people posting, rhetoric that is in support of groups that they have not always supported. And it's never too late for a face turn. It's really good. I just think that a lot of people are riding this wave to get like publicity and money, because a lot of history has shown us that a lot of these movements that have been spearheaded by people who have been oppressed, people of minority groups, people who are underprivileged, undervalued, underseen, underrepresented, those people who really put forth a lot of the effort, they've had their work stolen time and time again. Inventions, notoriety, just having their work stolen, their likeness stolen, and then having people tell stories that their ancestors are the perpetrators of, is, while this is a really good thing, it's a really bitter pill for me to swallow, because I'm still doing the research myself. And if it was people who it were people who didn't look like me, who stood beside people like me to get the word out there, or there are allies. It's just so hard when you see the world through, when you start to do the work and do the research, and you kind of see the same reoccurring theme. It's kind of hard to trust people, and it's very hard to trust people, especially in this day and age, seeing as though, people throw around the word trust and they try and get it so many different ways, so that way they can monetize it. There's so many different ways to monetize off of people's empathy, their emotions, playing on their strengths and weaknesses, playing on their heartstrings, playing at their heartstrings, just trying to get them to succumb to whatever it is that you're selling. I don't think we should be biased. Bias is not really what we need in a time like this. Division is only bringing us further apart. I'm just struggling to, personally struggling to keep it together and not lump everybody in. It just makes me so angry. It makes me so angry. The more I look, the more I read, the more I see, it's just, it's insanity. It's just gut wrenching and stomach turning to see and hear this stuff from someone who's holding the highest position in the land. For them to promote, self-betterment, betterment of our nation. Yeah, you lie to your constituents. You lie to the people who elected you to power. And you tell people that this nation is not stolen land and that's not ran by oppressors. Like, I don't understand. Do we not know definitions? It's not even just that. It's just the fact that it's such a blatant lie that I think that that's the issue. People are seeing a leader of the nation do these very things, and it's a recharge. Everyone, all of the hate and everything that people have been working forward to try and quell, all this hatred, all this angst, everything that people have tried to quell, that they're just so quickly coming in to turn it over, which is just a show that there are a bunch of sleeper cells in this nation that hate other groups so much that they are willing to destroy everything just to make sure that their spot is secure. I can see I would say my third eye. I'm not proclaiming to be clairvoyant or some type of fortune teller or anything. I just know. You just know, you can feel it, you can see it. And it's just like, it's not even a hatred. It's more of a cautiousness on my part. Yeah, I see it in them. It's exactly why it's like, it's not everybody. There are people who are allies. However, um, even back then, they thought they had allies, and they were being turned in behind their back, getting the police called on them. So many different things. I've seen so many shiesty moves from people who, these fake panders, people who pander to other races. They're so like freedom fighter-ish. Like, sometimes I gotta be wary of people like that. Like, they are just overly extra. And I'm going to give this example. During the George Floyd protests, I think it was, I want to say like either 2020, maybe like 2020, I forget exactly where it was. It was something like 2020, 2021, something like that. I don't know. I forget the exact time, but all I know is I was working for Starbucks at this time. And I was working with this white girl named Laura. It was me, Laura. It was like 3 white girls who worked at Starbucks with me, 2 black guys. Yeah, it was it. And the white girl, one of the white girls, her name was Laura. She was like this hippie type girl. She would shave her underarms. And she would go to like a lot of protests and stuff like that. She was very big on like freedom fighting and everything. And I'm just like, more power to you, but I gotta work. I don't have the luxury to do so. I pay my own bills, so it's like I can't do that. And she kept trying to get me to go to a George Floyd protest. She was like, it's really important, X, Y, and Z, and all this other stuff, and Black Lives Matter. And I was just like, I'm really not into it, because the movement has kind of turned into something that it's not. But that aside, it was more her, that she was furious. She was upset that I was not going to go. And I'm just like, Laura, you don't need me to go. If you want to support the movement, then you should do so of your own volition. You don't need me to go. You don't need me to co-sign your actions. Like, I don't see you going to Jade. I don't see you going to Anna. You're coming to me, the only black person present. And I felt a way about that. Like, you're not going to use me as a scapegoat. Because if push come to shove, you're in a better position than I will ever be. So sometimes you got to be careful of who you align yourself with, because people just want to see you put on a show. They just want to see you put on a show. Just be wary, especially in the times we are in now, because there is just a lot going on. It's not just the soft core oppression and seeds of hatred being sowed. It is now blatant. It's blatant. And it's so fickle, because this world, as we know, it's all humans orchestrating and controlling other humans. There is no one above us. It's just us governing ourselves. That is the scariest part, because when you strip everyone down to their basic selves, it's all humans. We all operate the same. Regardless of what some people may like to believe. They might put themselves on a higher pedestal, but we all operate the same. We all have the same computer in our head. Granted, our processing powers might be a little bit different, but we all operate the same. And when I think about my dark thoughts, and I think about the possibility of another person having dark thoughts, it is scary to have someone govern me. We have people who have positions of authority who deviate from their role, so much so that it causes detriment to another. And I just don't like that probability, that statistic that could possibly put me in a jeopardized state. I just don't like that. I don't like those odds at all. And that's perfectly fine. I just believe that history has taught us that it is the best teacher. And if history shows you something, you better believe it. Or time, I should say, time. This time encompasses all. Time has already been the teacher, has already shown us. And you know what current society, humanity has shown me? That they lie. If I'm taught something if my leaders are supposed to teach me the history, because that's what our kind does, humankind, what we do is we garner knowledge, we garner experience, and then we pass it along to our descendants, so that when you pass on, the further generation gets the chance to have some type of normalcy and some type of roadmap to traverse this world without worry. That is what it's supposed to be. But instead, what it is we were operating in a very horrible system of slavery, using each other as pawns. That is the bulk of our history. Classism, it's just classism, hierarchy, which are pretty much the same thing. Classism, hierarchy, just so many different things, that were used to keep people segregated, to keep people alienated. Slavery was a really big part of our history, and people who felt as though they were above others, they wanted to rewrite history that wrote them in a good light, because they wanted to be worshipped in those times as rulers, even though their people did not like them. Their people hated them. The people hated them because they were treating them like slaves. Rightfully so. You can't, I've heard people excuse it away, oh, everybody used slaves. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse for why it was okay. All right? And it's all right, because if it's not being done now, there's no need to lie. The history happened. Everyone else's history is out there. The history has happened, so let it be known. Because what you're doing is you're hiding the truth behind lies. Lies, so many lies. Detect it. Lies. And it's not just lies about slavery. It's about lies about a bunch of shit. Stealing, cultural upheaval, torturing, fake fucking genocides to give other groups a one-up on the one race, on the one nationality, or I'm going to say race, of people that was discriminated against through all times based on skin color and the fact that they had a different culture, and they were subjugated and treated as animals and cuffed in collars and stolen from land and raped and abused and hunted and tortured and treated less than over and over and over for hundreds of years. And then you're going to get up on fucking stage and say the fact that they're trying to say that this is a land that was stolen, that this land is controlled by oppressors. Donald Trump Jr., what do you call coming to a land that was not your own, was already settled in, and then taking it and killing the people here? You can't call it coming here and bringing them religion, because we know that's not what happened. What happened was they came here and they killed these people because those early settlers were already tasked with making sure that the land was given to kings, queens, monarchs, or just people who were duchesses and all of this other, and dukes, you know what I'm saying? Getting land for them, procuring land for them, procuring stake in land so that way you can make money off of it. So what does that mean? What does that look like? Okay, we're just going to talk to the natives and we're going to get them to move. Anybody who believes this bullshit is fucking foolish. They looked at these people as savages when they came here. They didn't speak their language. They came and was like, oh, this is an easy mark. We have weapons. We can do whatever we want. And they did whatever the fuck they want. Not just them, but so many others. They went and spread the word around. They did it to North America. They did it to small South America. So it's like, this isn't all made up. Y'all, England, Europe subjugated the world. Bunch of pedophiles, rapists, anarchists, narcissists, crazy ass fucking people. They did that. That is the truth of this world, unfortunately. And yeah. I just had to say that before I went to sleep, because just seeing him get up on stage and say all that shit was just so crazy. Because it's like, whose face are you playing in? He's playing in these people's faces, and even in them, it's. I think what the craziest part is that it's all one big game. We keep having these conversations, talking back and forth, but it's all double talk, because it's all out there, and no cognitive person could not see it. The only way you cannot see the information is if you don't want to see it, because I bet you, if there was $1 billion at the end of the research, everybody would have motherfucker found it. People don't want to find it because it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable information. When the person, the model ethnicity and aesthetic at the top is literally the biggest orchestrator of all the drama on this planet. The biggest drama on the planet. The most dangerous group on this planet. It's like, it's not Iran. It's not Russia. I'm gonna be done. Like, come on. It's just like, it doesn't. And then you have people in the U.S. saying stuff like, we don't give a fuck about your country, and building. Like, you sound so fucking dumb. You sound dumb as fuck. That's why this shit just has me laughing up the arse. It's like, y'all motherfuckers are protecting a business. America is a business first. It's just a big ass corporation. That's pretty much what it is. It's England's business venture. It was the land for people who already had it all to have more. And yeah, that's pretty much all it is. And they want to maximize profits. And if they want to maximize profits, trust and believe they're going to maximize profits. Regardless of what people have to say, they have it hardwired so that way, just in case, they have an exit. You know what I'm saying? And they already know it's so comfortable, y'all ain't going to leave anyway. So let's just be 100% honest.